What's good, boys? It's your boy Caden RC coming at you with a video. Just going to be going over some of the trades and predictions for Week 10, going over some of the games and just giving my predictions, scores, and what I think is going to happen. Chargers trade cornerback Jasir Taylor to the Jets. The Chargers get a 2028 conditional 7th-round pick. I don't know much about bro, so I'm going to just say, Jets W move, because anything could help y'all out at this point. Jets were on timing, bro. They got rid of Sauce, and they got rid of Quinnen Williams. I'll get to those in a second. So what all happened with the Sauce trade was that the Jets traded Sauce to the Colts. Surprising. Didn't see that out of nowhere. Honestly, I thought after the offensive performance we saw, we would see some offensive key players for the Colts, but I guess they decided that they were weak in the secondary, and I mean, why not bring, one of the best corners in the league? Jets also got Mitchell from the Colts. I can't tell whether that's a good pick. I guess they were just like, hey, let's grab this player. Honestly, when they were doing trades, it felt like they were just like, yeah, let's take that. We'll take anything. Whatever you can give me, I'll take it. And honestly, I think for what they got for Sauce, good value. We'll see. Colts are 7-2 already, so I mean, their first round picks are this season at least are gonna be should be around mid range, like maybe mid-20s, maybe a little higher than that. But I think the Colts are going to make it to the playoffs and do really well this year. So I doubt that, they'll get like a super high pick for that. I mean, even if they tanked, they're still going to get like around the middle somewhere. And then they got a 2026 first rounder, and they also got a 2027 first rounder. So 2027, we'll see. But Colts, they're all in. They're like, you know what? This guy, Indiana Jones, yeah, this is our dude. We are setting ourselves up to win the Super Bowl this year. Do I think it's gonna happen? I don't think so. I think last week was just a bad game. I don't think they're gonna play like that every week. Obviously they haven't played like that every week. They're 7-2, but I think come playoff time, they're not gonna really. They're not going to be ready for that moment, that pressure. They're not. I don't think they're built for that yet. I haven't. I guess we'll see. I mean, shit. None of us know ball. This season has been literally nothing, but it's anyone's year. Honestly, I mean, we have so many 5-3, 5-4, 6-3 teams. Like, it's bananas. So many teams are just neck and neck with each other. I mean, it's all over the place. And so Jets also get Mazi Smith, a 2026 second rounder, and a 2027 first rounder for D tackle Quinnen Williams. I think that the Cowboys got themselves a good pick up there in Quinnen Williams. I think they should have just kept Micah. I don't understand why you would give up Micah. That never made sense to me. He had a bad game, like his worst game so far. 0 pressures against the Panthers last week. But, I mean, he's been doing his thing. I don't understand why you would trade someone as good as Micah Parsons. I don't understand that to a possible contending team. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. But, Jerry Jones has the key to the fucking Cadillac, so I'm not running that organization. Let's go over some of the other ones. Browns trade edge rusher Joe. Browns just don't like people named Joe. If you're named Joe, bro, just get yourself out of fucking Cleveland, because they don't like you over there. And to the Bears, and Bears get Joe, a 2026 7th-round pick. Browns get a 2026 6th-round pick. So they just got a 6th-round pick. I think Bears win that trade. I mean, you get a player and a 7th-rounder. It's also... the Bears have looked like they're not like gonna have a super dog shit record. The Browns, on the other hand, are definitely going to. I mean, the only upside for the Browns is their defense. I mean, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks against the Patriots the other week. Like, and their offense, I'll get into that later in my predictions, but you know, they need to make some moves over there. I was excited about this next one. Saints trade to the Seahawks. Excuse me. The Seahawks get receiver Rashid Shaheed. I thought that's a great move for Seahawks. They already have JSN over there, Cooper Kupp. You know, they needed like a second guy for JSN, just because JSN is going to get double, triple teamed every time, and if someone else can just be open, that's great news for them. Honestly, I picked him up, Rashid Shaheed, in my fantasy this week, so I'm hoping he cooks, because being the opposite of JSN, I think Sam Darnold is just he's gonna have himself a great time with those two. Saints get a 2026 4th round pick and a 2026 5th round pick. I think that's a great trade. I mean, I'd give that an A for both teams. I mean, Seahawks needed another weapon, and honestly, they've looked really, really, really good this season. Their defense is playing astronomically well. I mean, they've cooked for my fantasy team. I have Seahawks defense, and then I have Packers defense. They're doing really well. I mean, week in and week out, they're easily dropping 15 plus on defense. I mean, last week I think they dropped like 17 or 18 points for me. But they're really, really good. Oh, another one. Jags get wide receiver Jacoby Myers. I thought this was a great pickup. I mean, you just had Travis Hunter go down for Jags. Do I think that highly of Trevor Lawrence and the Jags? No, I don't. I don't really like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's overrated. I think the media hypes him up way too much. That's personal. I think that, you know, I'm tired of the media construing that, oh, he made one playoff game. This guy is one of the greatest. I have not seen it, bro. Yes, taking the Jags to a playoff game, impressive. Joe Flacco took the Browns to the fucking playoffs. Impressive. Like, there's sometimes just seasons happen, you know. You just get favorable matchups and you win some games that maybe you shouldn't, or like on paper that you shouldn't, and you know, you come out and you're able to make it to the playoffs. So I don't know. I think their first round exit, if they make it to the playoffs, I think the playoff picture is way too competitive. I don't think they'll go far at all, but you know, I do think that Jacoby Myers is a good pickup. I think for fantasy, this is really like good. Like, if you have him as a free agent, if he's in your league and he's a free agent, pick him up. They don't have anyone else right now, at least for this next couple weeks. I would assume that Trevor Lawrence is going to just, Jacoby's down there somewhere, and toss it to him. Because, I mean, Geno Smith can't throw for shit. I mean, yeah, they just played, and Geno did a little bit of his thing. But, I mean, Geno all season has just, like, he's looked all right some games, and then other games he's just looked like hot trash. I mean, there's just not much you can do. Cowboys also went for linebacker Logan Wilson from Cincinnati. I don't know ball like that, so I don't know, bro. I don't know who bro is. I'm not following Cincinnati's defense because, honestly, they're they're actually the number one worst defense. And then guess what? The Cowboys are number 2. So I guess they thought, hey, let's take this guy and bring him to the second worst defense, you know, because he was at the worst. Let's take him to the second worst. Bengals get a 2026 7th round pick for that. Eagles trade edge rusher Jalen Phillips let me correct myself. Dolphins trade edge rusher Jalen Phillips to the Eagles. Dolphins get 2026 third round pick. Eagles were also making like pickups. They were like, hey, we need defense. They also got Jair Alexander. Couldn't speak. Sorry about that. And a 2027 seventh round pick. I think. I mean, Jair hasn't looked great since he's been on the Packers, but I think this is still a solid pickup. I think he'll look great. They need someone else. Obviously, I mean, Cooper DeJean and Quinton Mitchell have been doing their thing on the secondary for Eagles, but I think this is still a good pickup. They also got Michael Carter II and another 2027 seventh round pick. They're like, hey, 2027, let's get all the seventh round picks from the Ravens, and the Ravens got a 2026 sixth round pick. I think that's it for like big block. Ravens got edge rusher Draymond Jones. Titans get conditional 2026 fifth round pick. Don't know much. There were some other small ones that just really didn't. I think I hit all like the big ones. Oh, Chargers got Trevor Penning. I don't know if I said that. I mean, they just lost Joe Alt for the season, so this is a good pickup by them. The Saints got a 2027 sixth round pick for that. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but I mean, they'll take anything, I think, at this point. I think Justin Herbert is. I have him on my fantasy. He's my quarterback, and that man gets sacked so much. That man, I'm surprised. Out of anyone this season, I'm surprised Justin Herbert has not been injured. That man gets hit every game. Like, him and Baker. I have both him and Baker, and him and Baker both get hit so much. Like, their lines just are crumbling. And, I mean, that's due to injuries and just other situational things, but it really sucks, like, watching just for fantasy-wise. I'm like, please don't, please don't. And Justin Herbert keeps throwing interceptions. I need this man to stop throwing interceptions. He almost sold me this week. I won by like 4 points, thankfully. But I think that's going to be it for the trades. I think that gives us a little wrap up. I think most teams did pretty well. I think Cowboys, obviously, we're trying to get some defense. And I don't think that two players, I don't think that Logan Wilson and Quinnen Williams are going to be, life changers for that defense. Because they, as we've seen, I mean, Arizona on Monday whooped them. Marvin Harrison was everywhere. He would catch it 6 yards out and then just run for another 20, like every time. Jacoby Brissett was just like, yep, there you go. Toss it to him, and he would just catch it, run for another 10 yards. Like, I think his yak was insane in that game. Unfortunately, because ESPN and Big Disney and, YouTube TV are having a, little fight right now, I was unable to watch the Monday Night Football game. And I'm really hoping, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but I'm really hoping before the weekend this gets figured out. I hope we get breaking news that this gets figured out, because I do not want to miss next week's game. I think next week's game is going to be really good. Hopefully the Packers don't play like they did this past week, but they're facing the Eagles. I'll get into that in a minute, but that's going to be a really good game. Speaking of, it is now time for predictions. Let's get into it. Thursday Night Football, we got Raiders versus Broncos. The Raiders traded away one of their main weapons. Brock Bowers came back, and for fantasy owners, if you have Brock Bowers, that man was just cooking with hot gas. He was doing everything you wanted him to do. I think he's the only life on that offense. Like, that they don't have. It's Brock Bowers and Max Crosby. I mean, like, a Trey Tucker might emerge as a possible. We've seen him cook a little bit this season. That one game he had 3 touchdowns. Maybe, but I think the Raiders offense is less effective not having Jacoby out there. And Broncos just won against the Texans in a very, very defensive game. I kind of watched that game, kind of didn't. It was just very, snooze fest. I mean, Texans literally only scored off field goals, so, it is what it is. And they just lost. Texans also just lost C.J. Stroud, so that sucks. But Bo Nix and the Broncos, I mean, they're a fourth quarter team. Even if the Raiders amount to cooking, if Brock goes for 140, which I doubt he will, that defense is just so solid. I do think that maybe we'll see some life out of the Raiders. I hope we see life. I hope that there's life, because that defense, I think, is just gonna have Geno Smith in hell. I mean, this is just a rough Thursday night football game for the Raiders. That defense is just insane. And that's another thing. Broncos are cooking. They've won 6 straight, I think now. Maybe, yeah, I think 6 straight now. They're they're winning close games, and it's only because of their defense. And defense wins championships. But it is insane to say that their offense is good, because Bo Nix is he shows flashes, but then he overthrows the ball or makes a simple mistake, or I think some of that is also play calling, because I think they should be getting RJ Harvey and J.K. Dobbins involved a little bit more, just on the running game. I think also I've had Courtland Sutton every week, and I mean, he's doing all right, but I need this man to have a 30-point game, because every time I'm facing any of my opponents in my fantasy league, all of my friends, every one of their receivers, 32, 37, 44. I can't catch a receiver to fucking drop 30 for me to save my life. I think, dude, I had Sam Laporta this past weekend on my bench, because I had Tucker Kraft out there. Sam Laporta was on my bench, and he dropped 16. No, he had 18 points, I think, in the first quarter. I was like, and Tucker Kraft is out, so that's. I'll get into that segment a little bit later. I'll go through all the fantasy stuff, the fantasy moves that I think should happen, but that was a tough loss, losing Tucker Kraft. Yeah, I think I think Broncos come out with the win. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Broncos win this 24-6. I think I don't think much of the Raiders as of now, and especially with them trading away Jacoby to opponent they just lost to. I mean, that's not a good sign. And also, I think a lot of other players want out of there. And I don't think Geno is going to be their quarterback next season. I don't think we'll see that. And then we have the Sunday international game in Germany, Colts versus Falcons. I hope Falcons show up, because this could be a good game if we get the Falcons that play good. I think when Falcons play good teams, they play pretty good. But when they play shitty teams, they shit the bed. I mean, they literally just they fall apart. They can't get Bijan going. They can't get anything established. I mean, Drake London, for fantasy owners last week, they were cooking with hot gas against Patriots. So I hope that this is a good game. But I think Colts need this one more, especially after the tough loss to the Steelers. I think just so people aren't this is the Colts have fallen off completely. The wheels are off the bus. That way they can just shut everything up. I think Colts need this win. I mean, it's going to be close. I'll say this. If the Falcons play like they play, when they're facing a good team, I think they can get 24, I would say. Well, I don't know. They just picked up Sauce Gardner. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. If I had to do a score prediction, I think for this game, I would say 32-21. I think that's what I'm going to go. Colts win. I think Colts come out with the win on this one. But I don't think I would be super surprised if Falcons... I'm not putting my money on the Falcons anymore. I did that earlier in the season, and I put it when they faced the Panthers, and the Panthers shut them out 30-0. I was like, okay, all right. Then we got the Snooze Bowl, as I have written down in my notes. Browns versus Jets at 1 o'clock. Jets just sold house, so... and Kevin Stefanski just gave up play calling for the second year in a row. How is Kevin Stefanski the Browns head coach? Like, I don't understand how you can remain head coach if you're just like, you know what, I'm actually just going to take a break and we're not going to do any play calling. I'm just going to sit back and, watch you guys play and watch the team crumble. Like, okay, bro, just go somewhere else, because obviously you're, not good enough to get anything rolling in Cleveland. And I don't think Kevin Stefanski is the only issue. I do think he's a part of the issue. I think them not starting Shador because they're afraid of the media. Also, I want to start this brand. I'm going to make t-shirts one day to start my whole thing. It's going to be, fuck the media, F the media, because... the media is so hot dog trash. It angers me when I'm scrolling through Instagram. I'm watching reports. I'm looking on YouTube. I'm watching these videos and watching these, supposed media heads talking about ball, and they just don't know, the most outrageous takes I've ever seen in my life. And I can't tell if they're just rage baiting or if they're just doing it because they just don't know ball. Like, genuinely, just let's say the most outlandish thing. It's like, I think Dylan Gabriel would carry the Titans to a Super Bowl. Who the fuck thinks that? Nobody. Literally nobody. Nobody. He can't see his own fucking receivers. Fannin Jr. is the only good receiver you have, and he's not even a receiver. I drafted Jerry Jeudy this year. Do I think that's all on Jeudy? No. Joe didn't play that great in Cleveland. It's insane to me. Joe played great the second he got to Cincinnati. What does that tell you about Cleveland's offense? Play calling's trash, and we don't have receivers. Cleveland doesn't have receivers. That's just simple as it is. And the fact that they are not running every play through Fannin or Quinshon Judkins blows my mind. Judkins should have 47 carries for 9 million fucking yards every game. If you want to win a game, that's the only way to do it, because that dude is a beast. And I think Cleveland has found their running back. I think after this week, if Dylan starts this week, which I think he is, I think they should start Shador. Kevin Stefanski already gave up play calling. Get Shador in there. What is it going to hurt? Genuinely, what are you hurting by bringing in a different look? Because what's going on right now is a losing record. You're not getting any wins. So try Shador out for the second half of the season. We're going into week 10. We're halfway through the season. And went through 2 quarterbacks. I say give Shador a shot. I think the media is why the Browns won't give him a shot, but I think they should. I think still Browns come out and win this game 24-10. I think Quinshon Judkins he has himself a game. And I think Dylan Gabriel just does enough to win this game. The Jets are not a good franchise. They're not a good organization. It is good to see them at the trade deadline making some moves, making some money moves, money, money, money. They trying to make some stuff happen, but if the Jets beat the Browns after getting rid of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, call me surprised. But also, I wouldn't be, because that is such Browns behavior to lose to a very, very, like a worse team than the Browns. Like, the Browns are terrible, but a worse team than the Browns, that is very on par for the Browns. Like, that's exactly what they would do. I think this game ends, though. Browns up 24-10. Moving on to the next game, we got Saints versus Panthers. Saints just traded away Shaheed, and honestly, I haven't thought that much of the Panthers, but they've done their thing. They got Rico Dowdle over there. I picked him up in fantasy, because my boy dropped him, and I was like, ooh, appreciate that. I'll take those points, especially this week against the Saints. That Saints defense is not good, so I'm expecting him to go for 200 all-purpose yards. I need him to just do everything. I don't think they need... I mean, Tetairoa McMillan has looked great. I drafted him like this in my fantasy league, and Bryce is just not a great quarterback. I'm sorry to say, but I really like Tetairoa McMillan. I mean, that dude is a beast on offense. I think if they eventually... Cat's running around. But I think if they eventually got a franchise quarterback back there, McMillan's just going to be the number one receiver. Like, if you're in a dynasty league, like, I would pick him up, even if he sits on your bench, or, he comes in 1 week and he drops, like, 18 or 16 or 14, whatever. I think in the next coming years, he's going to be, like, top of the league. Saying that, I think the Panthers win this game 24-6. The Saints are just... And I think the Panthers are on the come up. I mean, they have easy opponents that they're facing. We're 9 weeks through, and the Panthers have a winning record. That's insane to say. I don't think you could have... If you would have told me before the season, hey, Caden, listen to this. Panthers are going to be, by halfway through the season, Panthers are going to have a winning record. I would have looked at you and been like, no shot. I don't see it. I can't see it. Because genuinely in my mind, before the season, that didn't make sense to me. But, obviously, they're doing what they need to. And, I guess I don't see a way where the Saints come out with a win on this one. Next, we got Patriots versus Bucks. This might be one of the best games of the day. I'm calling it out. Baker's back from bye week. Bucks they had time to recover. I know Baker wasn't on the IR list, or he wasn't actually injured, but he was obviously dealing with a little bit of soreness and a little bit of stuff from getting hit so much. I think it was good for them, especially with Emeka Egbuka. That whole offense just needed to rest. Defense needed to rest. Let's come into this week, showing the Patriots who's boss. I think if Baker wins this, whoever wins this game, the media is going to say is the MVP. I think because Drake May's already in MVP talks, and Baker was the first 6 weeks. So I think whoever wins this game is just going to be, he might be the MVP. I'm hoping it's a little bit higher scoring. Excuse me. But I think the Bucks still come out on top. I don't know. I think that Baker, no matter what, even if it's a good team, man, Baker just finds a way to win. And this is one of those games that I think just Drake May gets away from him, and Baker's experience just outshines. And I think Baker comes out, wins it 27-24. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to watch that game. That will be definitely one of the games that I tune into. Now we got Ravens. Not now. Next, we got Ravens versus Vikings. Vikings did just whoop on my Lions. Let me clarify. Not whoop. But, they did just beat my Lions. So, it is what it is. JJ did not play great. Their defense was the reason that they won that game. And I'll take no other slander beyond that. I don't want to hear anything else beyond the fact that their defense won them that game. Now, yes, did JJ make, a couple clutch plays when he needed to, and he got himself a rushing touchdown. It wasn't our best game defensively, special teams, rushing. Like, literally, Jahmyr Gibbs had 25 yards. I was like, my fantasy! I won my fantasy week, and still Jahmyr Gibbs gave me like 5 points. I was like, oh, this dude's trying to sit. And it was especially because he just came off of having like 44 points. I was like, nah, he's going to go back-to-back weeks. I didn't see Lions losing to the Vikings, so that one caught me off guard. But I don't know. That Ravens defense is questionable. They have, not the greatest secondary. And, Justin Jefferson and Addison. Excuse me. Those guys are problems. I think it's going to be very... I think if JJ plays great, it'll be like a high-scoring game. I think Lamar and Derek, though, come out on top. I think Lamar and Derek need this win more. Not saying the Vikings don't, because the NFC North is a very competitive league right now. I mean, all Lions, Packers, Bears, and Vikings are all just... It's anyone's... Like, I don't know who's going to win that. I hope the Lions do, but it could be anyone's. And I think that, Ravens are just... They're going to be too much. Ravens with Lamar is, like, all the way up here. Ravens without Lamar is, like, down here. Just, that dude elevates that team to, like, a whole nother level. And especially this year, he hasn't been really rushing that much, but he is just placing the ball where it needs to be. And I think he's just going to do exactly whatever he wants. This is a really good Vikings defense. But still, I think it'll still be high scoring, even with the Vikings' great defense. I think Ravens come out on top, 30-24. I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I doubt that. I wouldn't be surprised if Vikings win this, but I think Ravens need this win more, especially to have any playoff hopes. I don't think they can lose any games in this final stretch of the season. I don't think you can give up super easy points to, just... You can't lose these kind of games. Like, you need to just, okay, we were down Lamar a couple weeks. Let's come back. They're on a low win streak right now. They need to keep going. Next up, we got the Bills versus the Dolphins. Bills just beat the brakes off of Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. They do it every year. I mean, I guess that's the narrative, that they just do it every year, and then in the postseason they just lose. I have a feeling that this one is different. This one feels different because everyone's like, oh no, don't be worried. KC's going to make the playoffs. KC should actually genuinely be worried that they might not make the playoffs. And even if so, they're not getting the first round bye. I mean, the West is just so competitive. I mean, you have Broncos, Chargers, and KC. And Broncos and Chargers have been cooking all season. I mean, Chargers started off 3-0 against all divisional opponents. So, I mean, it's just... I think KC fans should be more worried than they are. And I think that, we're just so used to seeing Mahomes in the championship or in the bowl every year. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I am hoping that this man does not make it to the playoffs. Because, yes, he Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, they're just a different team come playoff time. But I do think that, they could lose in the playoffs. Like, you know, this season has been nothing but, it's anyone's year. It could, fuck it. The Jets could come back and win it all. Like, that's not happening. But, it's just like, this year has felt so crazy that, like, there is no, like, solid number one because, I mean, the Colts are, like, technically the number one, I guess. But the Colts just lost to the Steelers. And the Steelers lost to the Bengals. And the Bengals lost to the Jets. So does that mean the Jets are better than the Colts? Let y'all cook with that one. But I don't know. Like, this season has just felt bananas, especially for fantasy, sports betting. All of it is just wild. But I mean, the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa. That dude is hot buns. Yeah, so I think that the Bills come out on top against the Dolphins, 38-9. I don't think it's close. I think James Cook has himself another game. I'm hoping for my fantasy sakes. I really need him to do his thing this week. Honestly, I'm praying that I'm facing a juggernaut. I'll show y'all the screenshot later, but I'm facing a juggernaut this week. Yeah, I don't think that Bills versus Dolphins is going to be close. It's not something that I'm seeing in the near future. Next we got Giants versus Bears. Man, Giants just can't have anything this season. I mean, they lost Neighbors and they lost Cam Scatterboo. The Scat Man is down. Bears are coming off literally probably one of the games of the year. In a 47-42 victory over the Bengals. I mean, their defense did not look great, but that offense was cooking with hot gas, and I don't Caleb. I can't pinpoint how Caleb's playing, because some weeks he just feels like he's playing like dog shit, and somehow the Bears are just coming out barely with a win. And I know they're out Swift, but Manungai coming out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't see this guy. I didn't even know this guy existed, and then he just came out and dropped like 30 in fantasy, and he cooked for them last week. So hopefully he has himself another good game. Loveland had himself a crazy game as well. I think that this will be a close one. I'm hoping it's kind of higher scoring. I think I'm gonna go with 30-7, or not 30-7, 30-27. Victory. Bears win. I could see the Giants winning, maybe potentially. The only way I see the Giants winning is if Caleb. Cut that. Chat, cut that. Chat, cut it. Chat, cut it. Now leave it. Fuck. Leave it in. Leave it in. We're leaving it in. We'll leave it in. But I think that if Caleb just has a bad week and Abdul Carter and that defensive line for the Giants is able to, make some good plays, I think they'll be able to come out with a win. But I think it'll be close. So I could see this game going either way, but I think I'm gonna pick the Bears to win this one. Next we have Jags versus Texans. Jags, this is going to be a real test because that Texans defense is legit, and they are all defense, no offense. So, especially with CJ Stroud out there, I mean, I don't know what this game is going to look like. Um I think it's going to be low scoring. Jags did just pick up Jacoby Myers, so hopefully he has himself a game, but I don't think that Texans are going to get much on offense. I don't think. I think it's just going to be Cam Little scoring field goal after field goal. I mean, he might just drop another 70 piece like he did in the preseason, and he did just break the record from the little weirdo Justin Tucker. Not to name drop, but so I think that they could just cook. This could be another field goal city. Field goal city. We just keep kicking field goals. See who can win more with field goals. I mean, literally Texans last week scored 5 field goals. And that was how they almost won 5 field goals. That was the only points they scored. So, I'm not seeing much from this game. But I hope that the new addition of Jacoby Myers brings some life to that offense. And I mean, Travis Hunter will come back, and he'll cook, he'll do his thing. But like I said earlier, I think Trevor Lawrence is mid, bro. He is just mid, bro. I don't think very highly of him. I think he's just so overhyped in the media, and the media has just been like, nah, no, Trevor Lawrence top 5 QB in the league. It's like, yeah, he's really not though. Like, who's another player who's not a top 5 QB right now in the league? Patrick Mahomes, bruh. I am so tired of hearing Patrick Mahomes and everyone being like, oh, nah, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Genuinely, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any. The Chiefs faced 3 of the worst teams back to back to back to back weeks, and that was the only reason they looked good. They beat the shit out of the Raiders, and that was the only reason they looked good. Was because they faced the fucking Raiders. Like, the Raiders are nothing. I don't think very highly of them, but that's personal beef. We're not gonna get into that. Next up at the 4:05 slot, we got Arizona versus Seahawks. This might be another game of the day. I mean, Arizona just cooked the shit out of the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. And Seahawks, they just picked up, Speedy Rashid Shaheed. I do think that, this will be a very, very good game to watch. I will make sure that this is tuned in. I hope that none of the 1 o'clock games go late, so that way I can, tune into this one immediately. Because this one's gonna be great for fantasy owners. I think I'm hoping Rashid Shaheed has himself a game. Because I added him on fantasy. I will be starting him this week. I hope that he cooks this week. That'd be really good news for me. I do think that Sam Darnold and that offense are just too much. I think even with Brissett back there, they're able to cook with Marvin Harrison, and they got weapons on that offense. But I don't think Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. I mean, they did establish the run game a little bit against the Cowboys, but I don't see how the Seahawks lose this game. The Seahawks have just been so dominant. And I think they come out with the win 32-21 over Arizona. I mean, just a quick another win added on to Seahawks belt. Next up at 4:25, we got the Lions versus the Commanders. Lions, this is a very beat up Commanders team, and Commanders, I feel bad for y'all. Your coach sold you by putting Jaden Daniels in last week. That is a tough injury. I mean, he has dealt with injuries all season, and Jaden Daniels was the one to cook my Lions out of the playoffs last year. So not happy to see him get hurt, but it's another threat that's not in the league that we don't need. I think Lions are gonna have a bounce back week. I think Commanders are just way too injured, and we had a rough one last week against the Vikings. But I think that we come out in this game and start establishing the run, and our defense plays even better than it did last week. I think that we'll be able to come out on top. I think that this is a game where we just start putting belt to ass. I mean, we saw what the Seahawks did to the Commanders. It wasn't close, but I do think that, Gibbs is going to run for a touchdown. I think Monty's going to have himself a touchdown. I think that we'll see a Laporta touchdown. And I think that, they need this bounce back week. After a rough divisional game last week, I think they come out 45-6. I don't think Commanders are getting much going on offense. Next up, we have Rams versus Niners. The last time the 49ers and Rams faced up, it was a close game. Niners won in overtime, 26-23. It could be very reminiscent of that game. I think that, Puka's injury has been a little, but I think that dude is just he's out there to ball. Matthew Stafford has just been doing his thing all season, and I think this is just gonna come out to whose key players can stand out a little bit more. Is it gonna be CMC and Kittle, or is it gonna be Matthew Stafford? Is it gonna be Puka? Who's is the Rams offense going to be able to cook? And if Niners are just letting them drive down the field, I think this will be very reminiscent of that last time that they play. I think it'll be a little bit higher scoring. I think it'll be 30-27. I'm gonna have the Rams coming out with this one. I do think that the Niners are a surprising team to me. They're that whole division is just like, I'm surprised about the standings and how it's been all season long. I think losing Brock Purdy, and them getting rid of Debo, and just making some trades and moving stuff in the off season, I wasn't expecting the Niners to have the record that they have right now. Sorry for the scenery change. Just got the baby to sleep, so had to come into the bedroom to finish the rest of this video. We got Steelers versus Chargers for the Sunday night football game. Steelers coming off a great victory against the Colts. Did what they needed to. Their defense actually looks solid for once this season. Excuse me, because they haven't all season. And, Chargers barely beating the Titans. I mean, that game was scary. I was like, the Titans are going to beat the Chargers. I was watching that. I was like, no way. This is going to happen. They made it a good game. But, I don't know. The Chargers offensive line, they just lost Joe Alt. I know they picked up, Penning. I said it earlier. Brain fart. My bad. Let me go through my notes while I look for this guy. Oh, Trevor Penning. OT Trevor. Big Trevor. I don't think that's going to fix all of the offensive line issues the Chargers have. But, it'll be good to see how he fits in there and how they scheme with him. I think as long as they can give Herbert just a little bit of time, I think, to let Herbert cook, I think that the Chargers can come out with a win. I just feel like every week Herbert is getting sacked so many times, or he's getting close to it, or he's getting hit real hard. I mean, he's barely getting the ball away. I mean, I know they've had issues with O-line all season, and they're shifting guys all over. But I think this will be a close game. I think Rodgers has played really well. Rodgers has played way better than I thought he was. Going into the Steelers season, I was like, yeah, Rodgers ain't going to do nothing for them. That's just going to be, whatever. They can do whatever they want to. But this is also such like a Steelers game to like come off a big win against a 7-2 Colts to like lose to the Chargers. And like that is just such Steelers fashion. And like the Steelers are just barely gonna make the play. I think I don't know. The playoff picture is kind of weird, but I think the Steelers are either barely going to make it or they're just going to get knocked out first round like they do all the time. Like, and then I think if that happens, now Mike Tomlin's a good coach, but I think you got to move on because bro has led y'all to a mid-season. Like every year, Steelers are just, oh, this is our year. We're going to the playoffs. Da, 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 da. We're gonna make the championship. Whatever Steelers fans want to say. But then they sell the bag when they get in the playoffs. They literally just shit the fucking bed. There's not much you can do with that. I mean, you literally just can't, like, oh, we're gonna have an 11-3 season. We're gonna go 10-9 or 10-8, or we're gonna go 9-8. Like, we're gonna do whatever, and then just shit the bed. Like, you just can't do that. I don't know. I think that if Steelers defense plays how they played last week, this will be very close. If they go back to their old habits, then I think Chargers just are too much offensively. I think Herbert just, makes quick decisions and is able to connect with McConkey and, his new rookie tight end, Godson. He's really good. And I hope to see some, some good good Sunday night football game. I think the Chargers come out though with a win 24-21. I think it's going to be like just a very gritty game. Just basically seeing how it's going to be that Steelers defense and that Chargers offense going back and forth all game. And honestly, Rodgers is the best thing on that offense. Everyone else is kind of like just wishy-washy week by week, but I think Chargers come out with the victory here. And then on Monday night, please, for the love of God, ESPN, let's have a talk, me and you, eye to eye. Please figure out a deal between you and YouTube TV and Disney, whatever. Y'all gotta just come together, shake hands, make it all good again, cause whatever's going on right now, yeah, it ain't gonna work, cause this is gonna be a good game, and I don't want to miss this. This is gonna be, I think Packers after last week, they have like a bad week, and then the next week they just come right back. Me personally, as a Lions fan, I want the Eagles to run all over them. Also, I have Devontae Smith on my fantasy team, so I'm kind of hoping that, Jalen Hurts just starts airing that motherfucker out. I hope that, Saquon just kind of gets stuffed. And this is one of those games where Jalen Hurts just starts heaving that ball down the field. I think if they come in with a good game plan, they can win this. That Packers defense is really solid, even though they didn't look that great last week. I think this week is a bounce back week, though. This will be a really entertaining game. I think it'll be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The only downside for Packers, I would say, is their offense, especially losing Tucker Kraft. I mean, a real one right there, lost. He's not dead, but like he's out for the season probably. I haven't heard any updates, but I know he's off my fantasy team now officially, so that kind of sucks. Yeah, so I think that losing such a big weapon as Kraft, and Packers really haven't had like that receiver one. They have a good receivers. They just haven't had like one guy stick out, be like, no, I'm the number one receiver in Green Bay. Like it's my spot. Like there hasn't been that staple number one, and I don't know. This could be Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts just going back and back, or Jordan Love could shit the bed, and Eagles just do whatever they want to and come out with the win. I'm going with two. I got two different scores for this game. So I think it could be either 27-14 Eagles, or I think it'll be 32-30 Packers. or Eagles. No, actually, I'm gonna go Eagles on both. I'm gonna go Eagles on both. But I think it'll be closer. I don't think Packers win this game. I think just losing Tucker Kraft and like just coming off such a rough week. I think this is like another team that's just the Panthers are mid, and the Eagles are really good. So I think losing to this, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Eagles shit the bed and lose this game too. I mean, that Packers defense is really solid. We've seen that all year. Even as a Lions fan, I mean, they beat us week 1, so had to hear that all season. But I think that Jordan Love and that offense are really down without Kraft, and I think Luke Musgrave he'll come in and he'll do his thing, whatever he needs to do. But I don't see them coming out with a win this week. I think they go down to back-to-back losses, and Eagles come out with a win. And that is it for the week. That's all I have from my notes. Now we going off the book. So basically, just wanted to run over some of my stuff on fantasy. Tucker Kraft out, tough. I picked up Sam Darnold. Darnold is gonna ball for me, I'm hoping. Herbert needs to stop throwing interceptions. He that boy has almost sold me like a couple times. And this week, I'm facing. All right, so my opponent has Patrick Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley. JSN. Somehow, I don't know how we let this man cook, but we let him cook. It's also my first year doing fantasy, so we weren't really exactly sure what to do. But I'm gonna go over my lineup with y'all. So actually coming back, he started Jared Goff this week. He has Tyrone Tracy Jr. He has Jonathan Taylor. He has George Kittle, Saquon Barkley. He has JSN. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has Broncos defense. I am literally playing the God Squad team this week, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that I come out with a win. I got Sammy D as my guy. I'm hoping Sammy D cooks Arizona this week. Praying for like 4 touchdowns. Give me another week like last week where he throws 4 touchdowns. I have Rashid Shaheed, so I'm hoping he, cooks for me. We'll see what he does. Gibbs, you're facing Washington defense. I need you to do something. Yeah, this is gonna be a week for sure. I'm not projected to win. We'll see if we come out with a win. If I do come out with a win, though, that'll be 3 in a row. I lost 7. I'm currently 2-7. But that would be a 3-win streak, and that would just be great for the team, great for boost morale. Because I think right now, Kai is ranked number either 1 or 2 in our league. So, I'm facing the juggernaut, and I'm the bottom seed. So we'll see how it goes. It could be. I'm hoping. We got to hope for like a break. I need Gibbs to drop 40. I need Jared Goff to only throw to Gibbs and ignore Amon-Ra St. Brown. And like the Lions, that's my team, but like he also has it for his fantasy. So I kind of need him to suck a little bit this week just so I can hopefully have a chance to win this week. Last week I didn't think I was going to win. I barely won last week, but I still came out with a victory, and I'm thankful for that. I'm just hoping and praying that I can win this week, and we'll see what happens. Excuse me. But I think that's going to be it for me. I appreciate y'all for watching the whole video and tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow my other socials. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Do the usual. Leave a comment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What you think is going to happen this weekend. What teams are going to win. What teams are going to lose. Thoughts on, how the trades went. How your team traded. If they did well. If they didn't do well. Do whatever you can. And I appreciate y'all. Catch y'all on the next one.